So today I want to put this to the test, compare it against my freewood, compare the mini driver and the current driver and see which one comes out on top. Oh no, this is what I didn't want to happen. This is what I didn't want to happen. I mean, look, 295 total, straight down the middle. That's where this might come in. And, you know, I've always kind of thought about the mini driver and it might be a great thing for me to put in my bag. And that definitely is answered today. Hello and welcome back to Josh Hodder YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about the mini driver and we're going to be putting it up against my current driver as well. So with the links golf that I've seen on the tour recently, these mini drivers have been making headway on the tour. A lot of these have found their way into the players' bags and I can definitely see why. So today I want to put this to the test, compare it against my freewood, compare the mini driver and the current driver and see which one comes out on top. We're going to talk about some benefits to all of the clubs in your bag. There might be a reason why you need a mini driver in yours. So let's dive straight into it. So first up, the QI10 LS 8-degree driver. This thing for me has been an absolute curveball. I put this in because Golf Bidder sent me the QI10 just to try and it's found its way into the bag. It's unbelievable. And as you may have seen, Chef, Rory, they're still using it. So yeah, I mean, I'd never tried it and I tried it. It's quite good. So yeah, shout out to Golf Bidder. I've got a link below where you can maybe go and purchase a QI10 if there's any still on there. They're like gold dust at the minute, but yeah, these drivers are pretty good. As is the QI35 as well. I don't know why there's so much hate on it. I actually really like that club. And I think if I got a QI35 in 8-degree, I think it would go as far as this. Just for me personally, I quite like the top of the head is black as well. I think I prefer that. So yeah, let's hit a driver here and just try and hit a good one. And I just want to get some good baseline numbers with each club really. Okay, QI10, show me what you got, boy. Pretty low spin one there, slightly high toe. 290 carry, run out, 314.5. Pretty good, and that's kind of what I've seen from this driver is a little lower spin, forcing me to kind of hit up on it. But for me, a driver is a club that is meant to go far. And I think if you're trying to hit the fairway with this club, I think potentially a mini driver might be a great club for you. But I think for me, a driver is that club that's trying to get you as far down the hole as possible. It's not a club that, you know, you're pulling out on a really tight hole and you're trying to hit a fairway. That's not what a driver's made for. A driver is meant to go as far as you possibly can hit it and be in that shotgun dispersion. I love what Scott Fawcett says. We have a shotgun with the driver that's about 60 yards wide. So if you can have a driver that goes 25 yards offline, right and left, that is fantastic. Stand there, hit it hard, and hit it in that shotgun dispersion. That's what a driver is made for. Okay, so now in my hands we have the mini driver. This is the TaylorMade Burner Mini, and I believe this is last year's mini driver. They've got the new R7 quad, so leave a comment down below if you want to check that one out on this channel. I might see if I can send Golf Bidder a nice email and get one, but this mini driver looks stunning. Yeah, behind the ball, it looks great. I've got a slightly shorter shaft in it. I've got my 70 gram Acra shaft that was my freewood shaft. So, you know, feel-wise for me, I really like the feeling of a slightly shorter driver. And it just looks like a club that's going to find the fairway. You know, certainly when this is in my hand, it feels like a club that's going to go straight. I don't know, you know, how I can explain that, but you know, it certainly feels like I could pull this out on a tight par 4 and find myself a fairway. So let's see if the proof's in the pudding. Oh no, this is what I didn't want to happen. This is what I didn't want to happen. I mean, look, 295 total, straight down the middle. And it literally feels like I could do that every single time with this club. I knew when I had that club in my hand, it was going to find the fairway. I could just feel it. It was a little bit shorter. You know, even looking at it down at the ground, it just looks like it's a slightly smaller driver and like a fairway finder driver. So I didn't want that to happen because it is a bit of a curveball. And certainly these guys that are putting mini drivers in, it's hard to run away from the fact that this thing still goes far. It goes a lot straighter. And, you know, I can see why players are putting these mini drivers in their bag. Let's just hit one more, shall we? I don't know if that was luck or a honeymoon phase. Let's see. And that feels like a bad one. You know, ever so slightly left of my start line. Still in that shot pattern, you know, it's... Wow. Wow. And do you know what I think people aren't talking enough about this club? And it's the simple fact that it's got more loft. What this allows me to do is get a hair steeper onto the ball, makes the path ever so slightly earlier on. That equals more of a draw. So for someone that cannot draw a driver, I can because I ever so slightly toe it sometimes and I almost hit these fake draws, but that's a legitimate draw. You know, I can tell that this club wants to turn over that way, which is a great feeling as someone that really struggles to draw a driver. You know, this is a club that you're not going to have that worry. So to, you know, back that up even further, if you're someone that slices driver, a mini driver is going to be your best friend. It's going to be something that you can, you know, see a little bit more loft on, deliver it a little bit steeper, bit more onto the ball, similar as an iron, you know, and it equates to a shot that's closer to that centre line. I shouldn't hit one more because this is literally, I'm just falling in love every time I hit this. I'm hitting that so hard, like I'm trying to hit that offline. Look at it. Look at it. So this is now my high launch forward. I call it a forward. It's actually a freewood, 16.5 degrees. Also a draw machine, 256 carry. I love this club, QI 35, really, really nice. And that does what I want to see from a freewood, ever so slightly higher, bit more spin, definitely something I could hit into a green. So, you know, that's something I always struggled with the freewoods, especially the modern day freewoods. They're a little bit lower lofted, come out a bit hot, lower launching. This keeps the spin up for me. You know, fits into my bag really, really well. Okay, so now we are left with the part of where do they fit into your golf bag? If you're someone that currently uses 14 clubs in your bag, how are you gonna fit this mini driver in? So I currently use the Avoda irons, and ever since I've put these combo length irons in, it's been amazing. But one thing that it's led me to have a problem in my bag is that I currently have 13 clubs in there. I don't need my 2-iron anymore because of this 4-iron. This 4-iron is 19 degrees in loft, and that's because of their strategic loft gapping in the bottom end of the bag. Now, they have 5 degrees of loft gapping early on. So my 60 is 60 degrees. My sand wedge is... I just noticed what I said. My 60 is 60. My lob wedge is 60 degrees. My stand wedge is 55. My gap wedge is 50. pitch and wedge 45. So a lot of manufacturers will have that 4-degree gapping. You bring that up to the top end of the bag, then you are left with a 4-iron at like 22, 23. You then need a 3-iron / 2-iron. You know, that's where that extra club in your bag is taking up the room. So for me, I have this 4-iron at 19 degrees. Now we've got a bit of room to play around with at the top end of the bag. I currently had a 16-degree forward in the bag. So I did go forward all the way to my 8-degree driver. Dun, dun, dun. That's where the mini driver comes in. And, you know, this club might find its way into my bag, because I currently hit this freewood about 260, 265. Then I have driver that goes 310, 315. So there's a big gap up there. That's where this might come in. You know, I've always kind of thought about the mini driver, and it might be a great thing for me to put in my bag. And that definitely is answered today. You know, I've put my freewood shaft into it, and you can see the purpose of this club. Even if it's for me, them draw holes where I can't hit my driver. You know, it might be a right to left par 4 that I have to slightly draw one. Mini driver's coming out. I think you've seen it a lot in the past couple of weeks in the links golf tournaments on the telly, Scottish Open and the Open, because there's going to be a lot of times where it definitely tightens up. There might be a bunker at 290, 300 that players, you know, come up 20 short with the freewood, but the mini driver, they're going up 5 yards, 10 yards short. So that's how precise these guys are being. But certainly for the everyday average golfer, this club could be very beneficial in your bag, just to give you more comfortability out on the course, and something that you can stand there, hit this club. You know, you're not going to worry about trying to hit the fairway, because you know this mini driver is going to have a lot tighter dispersion than your current driver. So, as I said, maybe look at this club as the driver that goes as far as possible. Look at a mini driver to be that fairway finder. So once again, to all of you watching at home, I appreciate the support. It means the absolute world to me. Big thanks to Golf Bidder for sending me the mini driver and another curveball in my bag. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to try out. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you all for the next one.